Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Arakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of great Muslim who taught us his truth. Peace and blessings to hopefully elect the 144,000 men pushing the truth and wholehearted and sincerely across the four winds. This is Yaquab with the JMS Germany camp through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, to do this lesson, and I was watching a video from Elder Manatha Zakba, and the spirit came upon me to do this lesson because we live in extensions of Sodom. We are spiritually living. We are living in spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah, Sodom and Egypt, slavery and sodomy mixed all into one. Okay, and all manners of wickedness with idolatry, and that's what Sodom was. Sodom and Gomorrah was a place where it was utter wickedness, utter filthiness, man. And how do I know this? Through the scriptures. The Lord said that, let's read it. Matter of fact, this is okay. And when you look at this, okay. This is Sodom and Gomorrah. Genesis 18 and 26. And the Lord said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sake. And Abraham said, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which am but dust and ashes. Peradventure there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all the city for the lack of 5? So the Lord told Abraham, if he find 50 righteous men in the city of Sodom and Gomorrah, he would spare for their sakes. And Abraham and answered and said, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak. Peradventure there shall lack 5. So he's saying, say, Lord, like for example, Father, there shall lack 5 of the 50. So he said, instead of 50, you got 45. Wilt thou destroy all the city for lack of 5? And he said, if I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it. So then the Lord changed it, not changed, but then the Lord said, if I find 45 men, okay, then I won't destroy it. And he spake unto him yet again and said, peradventure there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for their sakes. And he said unto him, oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. So Abraham said, please don't get upset, Father. And I'm going to say something again. Let's say, for example, peradventure there shall 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, behold, now 20. So Abraham knew that there wasn't any righteous men in there. But he was trying to, save that land because he knew that there was one. And he said, oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet this once. Peradventure there shall be found there. 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it. And the Lord went his way. And as soon as he had left communing with Abraham, and Abraham returned into his house. All right, so the Lord was telling Abraham that he was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, so he was going to destroy it. Verse 19, and there came 2 angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, behold, now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your ways. And they said, nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned into him, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast. and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city at even the men of Sodom compassed around the house round about, old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot and said, where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out to us that we may know them. So now when you read the scriptures, you know that when you know someone, when a man knows a woman, that means he comes onto her. Okay? He comes onto her. All right. So these men of the whole city wanted to see these two men because they wanted to have sex with them. And that's how wicked Sodom and Gomorrah was. Okay. So I'm reading that to show you because we're living extensions of this. All right. But now it's being called courageous to come out and say that you're a sodomite. All right. So let's look at the word sodomy. All right. Let's look at the word sodomy. An unnatural sexual relations, such as those imputed to the inhabitants of biblical Sodom, especially between the persons of the same sex, but also with beasts. Okay? Anal sex, literally the sin of Sodom. Sexual activity between a person and an animal. Intercourse via the anus committed by a man with a man or woman. Okay? So, sodomite, inhabitant of Sodom. All right? So, someone who engages in anal copulation, especially a male who engages in anal copulation with another male. We're living in that time right now. Okay? Like the elder Manak Zakba said, he never thought he would see a sign, a time where we would see uh, transgender emojis. You got emojis with women having beards. So my point is, when you show that to a child, when you show that to the younger generation, they begin to think that that's normal. You know, they desensitize you to these things so you can deem them as normal. You can see them as normal. If you, for example, if you're always in combat, it becomes second nature. The smell, the noise, the action, the death, the adrenaline, the atmosphere of being in war. It's almost like a drug. Okay. But when you are repeatedly put into it, it doesn't bother you anymore to see people dead. Okay, to see a person with their leg blown off or their leg the shot or this, that, and the third. So if you would continually to show people these things, very graphic, very visual, up in your face, after a while it becomes normal. After a while, people are gonna stop saying, "Why are you showing me this?" And they're gonna think that this is just normal, man. This is the way of life. When you look at Afghanistan and Syria and Iraq, they've those people that are living there grew up in war. So it's second nature to them. It's okay for them. I mean, I'm not saying that they like war, but they can live amongst it. The same that we see now. So now you have propaganda, you have media, you have movies, you have entertainment, music, all pushing the same vibration of sodomy, all pushing the same vibration of adultery. So what is happening? The people that are living in this world, they think that this is normal. Okay? They believe that these things are normal. This is what this is okay. You can do these things. You can have sex with a man. You can be a girl when you're a boy, or you can be a boy when you're a girl. This is Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 9. The shew of their countenance doth witness against them, and they declare their sin. Okay, so the show of their countenance doth witness against them. All right. And when you see these people that are in these leadership positions, these high ranking positions, what when you look at them, you know, the head of uh, the human health department, the health department in America, I think is a transgender, if I'm not if I'm not mistaken, you know, and she or he is in charge of the policies and customs of health in America. You know, so he say that it's okay for a 12-year-old and a 13-year-old to self-mutilate themselves to become an opposite gender, the other gender. So if a young boy who's 13 decides, because he's been pressured by people around him, that it's okay to be, if you feel like you're a girl, you're a girl. You know, a girl trapped inside a man's body. You know, so like your nose piece of lint there. A girl trapped inside a man's body. Yeah, go ahead and act on those urges. Okay, so what do? You take estrogen hormones to make you grow a breast, and then you cut off your rod at 13. Now you say 10 years down the line, you realize that you are just a man and you were in a state of confusion. But you already cut your rod off. Here you are 23 now, and you starting to wake up, you're starting to see what's going on. Well, what do? You can't go back. You can't take your rod from 10 years ago that you cut off. Now you want it back. Okay? They declare their sin as Sodom and Gomorrah. Let me read it again. Their show of their countenance doth witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom and Gomorrah. They hide it not. So the same things that they were doing in Sodom, and how they were so bold to tell Lot that they wanted to rape two angels. It's the same spirit and the same vibration that they're having right now. They're bold. They're not hiding it anymore. I mean, in the 1910s, in the 1920s, and 1930s, you would never see such things. So why? America is modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. It is modern day Egypt. It is modern day Babylon. It's all of them combined into one. And as you see the years have progressed, you see that they have actually become more emboldened. They become more comfortable with declaring their wickedness, pushing it on children, men in drag, teaching children, reading books to children in the elementary schools. So you see that these people are declaring their sin as Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay? Woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded evil to themselves, unto themselves. All right? Woe unto those souls, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves. So that means that they have rewarded destruction. Okay? Verse 10, say ye to the righteous that it shall be well with him, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. All right? It's going to be good for the men who have gone against this system, who have been chastised, who have been afflicted, who have been degraded verbally and physically, who have been deemed as terrorists for speaking the truth, who have been deemed as prejudiced or racist, not even racist, what do they call it? Homophobic, because you say that if you wouldn't date a trans woman, you're transphobic, and that she's a real woman. When I think about it, it gets me sick to my stomach, man. So the righteous are going to eat the fruit of their doings. All right. Verse 11. Woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with them, with him, for the reward of his hands shall be given him. All right. All right. The reward of his hands shall be given. So the things that you are doing, you're gonna be held accountable for those things, man. You're gonna be held accountable for those things. And this is what people really don't understand. The Lord is not all about love. The Lord hates wickedness. The Lord hates sodomy. Oh, excuse me. I was looking at a precept right quick. Um, um, before I get to Revelation, I want to get to 2 Corinthians 5 and 10. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Hamashiach Yahushua, that everyone, I'm gonna read it again. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 10. For we all must appear before the judgment seat of Hamashiach Yahushua, that everyone may receive the things done in his body, according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad. So you're going to be held accountable for the things that you've done on this earth. If you push the agenda of sodomy, transgenderism, LGBTQPIN, and everything else that they have added on to that wickedness, you're going to be held accountable for it. So these wicked people they got something coming to them. Okay, so let's go to Revelation 11 and 8. And their dead bodies shall line the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Okay, so we, because I'm thinking, how can I articulate this? All right, so who, what city is spiritually called Sodom in Egypt? America. How do you know that? When you look at the customs, who did America have in slavery? The Negroes, the Hebrews. Okay, they had the Hebrews in slavery, the children of Israel. There's plenty evidence to prove this. All right. So if America had the Hebrew Israelites in slavery, who did Egypt have in slavery? The Hebrew Israelites. Okay. And how long were they in slavery in Egypt? 400 plus years. And how long were they in slavery in America? 400 plus years. There's no coincidences. There's facts and there's history. And there are things that solidify it. All right. Archaeology, books written by Edomites, so-called white people, to prove that this is true. That indeed the people who were in slavery in America are the Negroes, are the Hebrew Israelites. And those same people were in slavery in Egypt. That's why you see different architecture of pyramids by the Native Americans, by the Aztec and the Incas and the Mayans, because they were all in slavery. They all built those pyramids in Egypt. And then, what do you say? How do you say it? how do you say it? Migrated into different lands. Okay, so and they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their bodies to be put in graves. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts to one another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth. So the point that I'm trying to say is this: Sodom and, uh, Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed. Modern day Sodom and Gomorrah is going to be destroyed, and they're going to be taken down. But the point that I wanted to bring out is that they declared the sin of Sodom. There's no coincidences. There's nothing new under the sun. The same thing that's happened before is happening now. Those generation of peoples that were on that earth, that were on the earth back then, they're here now, just in different bodies. Okay? If you don't believe me, let me get this right quick. Hebrews, and then I'm going to shut it up. I'll get two precepts that prove that we've been here before. Hebrews 9 and 27. And as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this, the judgment. Okay, so it is as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this, the judgment. After you die, then you go up to the spiritual realm in heaven, and you get judged, and then you come back on this earth and live your life. All right. Hold on. There's another precept. Second Esdras. That's I think solidifies that even better. Second Esdras, chapter 14 and verse 35. For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again. You see? After death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again. All right? And then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared. So, you get judged, and then you come out to live your judgment onto the earth. All right? You get judged in the spiritual realm, you come out and live your judgment on this earth. Okay? So we've been here before. We've done this many times. So you get judged, then you live it. You live out your judgment. That's why you see these people who have these infirmities and, and cerebral palsy and dropsy and blind and deaf and these things. The Lord is judging, has judged you on your past life, and then you come and live it out on this earth. And right now we're living in hell. Why? Because they declare their sin as Sodom. Until next time, Shalom.